Hi there partner, welcome to Gamers Web. My name's Mark. In this video I'm going to take a retrospective look at Dead Man's Hand from Great Escape Games. Okay, welcome back folks. As I said in the intro, this is a look at Dead Man's Hand from Great Escape Games. This is a retro look because this is the older edition of Dead Man's Hand. This is the box set that came out about 12 months ago. There is a brand new box set out now with plastic gunfighters, and I think it's got an update on the rules. Okay, so let's have a quick look what we get. Okay, well, hello there stranger, welcome to the Dead Man's Hand. In this town you can find almost anything, but it comes at a price, and that price may be your life. The lawmen around these parts are pretty tough, but then they need to be. We get all types in here. Cowboys off the plane looking for some action, if you know what I mean. Outlaws always looking for an angle, and then there's desperados. Those folks are just plain crazy and out of control. It's up to you which lot you choose to throw in with. You'll get rich here or you'll get dead. Okay, so Dead Man's Hand is a Wild West miniature combat game from Great Escape Games. In this edition, we get two gangs. We get the Desperados, we get the Lawmen. Sorry, the Outlaws and the Lawmen. We get 4 dice, we get the playing cards, we get the tokens, we get the rules, and we also get a blacksmith's with a pop-up tent, and blacksmith's chimney made out of MDF, which is fantastic. It's always good to have a bit of scenery. Now this is part of our cowboy series of videos that we're making. I've done a couple of videos on the gunslingers and on assembling the models and also painting the plastic gunslingers. I've got more videos coming for the lady gunslingers, the Gunslingers 2, when that comes out in a couple of weeks time. This is a retro look. As soon as I get my hands on the new box set, I'll have a look and do a side-by-side comparison, but let's just crack on. Okay, so this isn't a new game, as I said. It's been out for a little while. I got this off eBay, and as you can see, it's not been opened. It's still sealed, still in its packaging, which is great. Okay, so Dead Man's Hand rules. 28mm skirmish game by Great Escape Games. Bands of tough and wily cowboys, stoic lawmen, ruthless outlaws, and crazy desperados fight for fame and respect in the Old West. With an accompanying range of 28mm and pre-painted buildings, you can now fight legendary gunfights of historic West and the silver screen. This rulebook contains all the rules you need to recreate your gunfights and 12 blood-soaked scenarios. Okay. Yeah, your time is over and you're going to die bloody, and all you can do is choose where. Fantastic. Okay, so we got the rules. We also get the faction cards for each of the factions. We get the Lawmen faction card and we get the Outlaws faction card, which I will go into more on my review. We get a bookmark from Great Escape Games, which seem to be in all the products. We also get our blacksmiths, which is a normal blacksmith. We've got a fascia at the front, the chimney, and a pop-up tent in there, which is made out of glasses wipes. We get our tokens, which are made out of card, a good stock card, and then we get our craft reference sheets on this side, which is done in metric, and then if we look under here, we've got the same one in imperial. We get 2 bands. We get our Lawmen and our Outlaws, which are white metal miniatures. We get our cards, which is a deck of 2 decks of playing cards, which are used in the game. And there's enough here for 2 players to start the game. And we also get 2d20 and 2d10, as you can see thusly. And we also get MDF 25mm bases for the white metal figures to stand on. So I'm going to reposition everything and we can have a quick look at the miniatures. Okay, right, so I take a quick look at the Lawmen. You get 7 white metal models to represent your Lawmen. Now, white metal is something that's been out of fashion for quite a while, because most people use these already on plastic these days. There was a bit of a controversy over white metal miniatures a few years ago, and a lot of companies, mainly Games Workshop, stopped using white metal miniatures. But this, you can still get them, and white metal's got its own unique properties when you paint it. It paints differently than plastic does. Okay, so we'll have a look at the lawmen first. So there's 7 of them. This is one wearing a great duster with a repeater rifle. Then we've got one with a pistol. Now, obviously, the detail on white metal doesn't tend to be as crisp as it is on plastic. We have another one with a pistol. Then we have a guy with a derby with a very large-looking pistol in his hand. One with another greatcoat with a pistol. We have our boss, who is a sheriff, who's on the box, who's smoking a cheroot or cigar with twin pistols. And then finally we have a guy with a shotgun. Now, the big thing with white metal is little things like the gun barrel bend quite easily, and you do get a lot of flash or excess metal from the moulds when they've been poured appearing on the models. They're dead easy to clean up. So they look quite cool. I'm looking forward to painting those up. Now, I have had this set before, and these have got very little flash really on them. I have had this set before, and I passed this on to Roland when I got the box set. So I am used to these models, and the same with the Outlaws. The Outlaws, I've had those set before as well, but we'll have another look at those in a second. So just put these away, and we'll have a look at the Outlaws. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the Outlaws. I was wrong, I haven't had these before. It was the Desperados that I've had. Okay, so we've got an Outlaw with what looks like a double barrel shotgun. We have got one here who is armed with a pistol. And some of these have got a little bit of flash on, so they're going to need cleaning up. And as you can see, the gun barrel's bent, but that's, you know, not too difficult. I just straightened it with my fingers without any issue. A guy who looks like he's wearing a greatcoat, guy off the box, like a Confederate uniform with a revolver. A gent type person with 2 pistols. We've got a guy here with a rifle. And then we have a guy who's about to go for his guns, although he doesn't look like he's going to cause much of a threat. That stance. And then finally we have an old timer with a gun, and as you can see, there's a little bit of flash on the edge of the barrel of the gun where it's been come from the mould, and that's quite easy to just pick that off, and I can file that off and clean it up. Painting white metal is more or less the same as painting plastic. You've got to make sure you prime white metal, because it doesn't work very well if you don't prime it. Okay, so that's a quick look through the miniatures that come in the starter set. I'm going to pause now and reset, and we'll have a look through the rules. Okay, welcome back. Right, so this is a quick look through the rules. Got a really great artwork on the front and the back, and the back basically just is the same as it is on the back of the box. The rule book gives us everything we need to play the game. So let's have a look in. Okay, so we have, again, a quick reference sheet, which is at the front page and on the back page. We have a contents, which tells us what we need to know. How the game plays, how we can break the game down, and stuff like that, as well as pre-measuring. You're always allowed to pre-measure once in this game. That's your first move. You're not allowed to measure after that. How cards work, how you play the games, shooting interruptions, how you can interrupt the opponent, nerf tests, hand-to-hand fighting, which is deadly in this game, how the cards work, whether you're playing with a half deck or a full deck, or two of the same gang. The common cards, gang-specific cards such as the Lawmen and the Outlaws and the Desperados. Jokers, how they work in the game, because it uses a full deck of cards. The gang itself, model profiles, the Law, Outlaws, Cowboys, Desperados. And then we have scenes, because this game is very cinematic. It is, if you imagine, let's say, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, or Once Upon a Time in the West, it's that kind of thing. You can do lots of cinematic things like diving through windows and doing somersaults off buildings and into hay bales and then shooting your guns and stuff. Okay, so we've got the scenes. There's the good guys and bad guys, arranging the set, drunk and complacent, which is a condition, surprise, which is another condition, running out of cards, horses. And then we have our scenarios. We have the good, the lead and the ugly. So that's made up of 3 adventures, which is the stranger, this town ain't big enough, and we'll be waiting. The quick and the lead, which is the duel, there will be blood and gunfight. For a few models more, which is hang 'em high, get me out, and fast train to justice. And finally, there is a fistful of models, which is ambushed, heist, and showdown. And then we have the epilogue. There's more markers in the back and the credits of the game itself. All the way through the game, you'll see these absolutely brilliantly painted models from Foreground and from Great Escape Games. The buildings are from Foreground. The models are from Great Estate Games. So what you need to know, the game plays with 2d10 and 2d20, well 1d10, 1d20, and the object is to roll to hit. You use your model's profile and you need to roll d20 and get a certain number to actually succeed, which is always modified by things if you've been shot at, if you've moved, if someone's played a card or you've got a condition on you, and that kind of thing as well. And you just simply roll the dice and you need to get as high as possible on the d20. A 1 means you're out of ammo, and a 20 is more or less a natural kill, but you can reduce the cards as well, reduce the rolls as well. So you got your hand of cards, you draw this 1 card for each of the models in your gang, but normally it's limited by how many members you've got in your gang. I think it's the minimum is 2 and it goes up to 5, how many cards you can have in your hand, and you play those cards as interrupts on your players. And then the way initiative works is both players look at draw the first card, they can quickly look at it, and then you count down 3, 2, 1, and you place them at the model that you want to activate first. You want to assign this card to, I should say, rather than activate first. And then in the event of a tie, it's whoever gets the card down first wins the tie. And then on the next thing, you just draw initiative cards blindly and place them on the rest of your gangs until it's done. So quite easy. I've got a full review going to be on Gamers Web of the game itself and how it plays. So we have actions like a lot of games these days. You can do a number of actions with the game. So each model has 3 actions. You can do a variety of different things. So you can aim, you can take a single shot, you can move, you can reload a weapon if you're out of ammo, or you can switch guns to a different weapon if you've got more than 1 gun. Movement's all done in centimeters, although there is rules for Imperial, so you could do it in inches. You can dismount a horse, enter hand-to-hand combat, enter into a building. Movement is done using the range rulers, which is a small ruler that looks very much like this. If I can just grab the card counters. This is the range ruler. So the range ruler's got lots of little feet on it. And these move counters, the way these come... Oh, I'll just explain this quickly. We've got... these are movement counters, so that is move once, that is move twice, that is move 3 times. You place those at the side of your model when it's been activated because it makes it harder for somebody to hit you. That's 1 under fire marker, 2 under fire marker, 3 under fire marker. The more you've got, the less you can do. It's harder for you to do things because you get minuses. And then we've got out of ammo markers here, which are represented by the bullets, and you place one of those against someone if they roll a natural 1. or somebody plays a card on them that makes them go out of ammo. Okay, so as I say, you can do move, or move, aim, shoot, or shoot, aim, move, and there are certain cards that allow you to actually move more than once in a turn. Okay, so aim, shoot, reload or unjam a weapon, recover, and then the end of the turn. Then we have the shooting phase. So you've got 3 ranges. You've got point blank, you've got close range, and then you've got long range. So weapons at point blank, pistols are at +2. So they get +2 on the die roll. So if you roll a 6, they get 8, which is a miss. But we also have close range, you get no minuses, and at long range you get -1. You get a +1 for an aim shot, you get a -1 for the second shot you shoot, and -2 for the third shot you shoot. And then if you're firing from a mount, you get -1, or if you're under fire, you get -1 per marker. So if someone's got 3 markers on them and they aim, they negate one of those 3 markers, so they're on a -2 instead of a -3. And then if you're shooting at a boss, or you get a -1 if you're shooting at a boss. If the target's in cover or obscured, you get a -1, and if it's moved, you get a -1 for action that the target's moving. So quite easy to do. You need to roll 18, 19 or 20 to actually do some serious damage. Other things will just put markers on them. Anything below a 10 normally tends to not do anything at all. So we've got different weapons. We've got a pistol, a repeater, a pistol, a rifle, a repeater, a shotgun, and shotgun with 2 barrels. Shotgun with 2 barrels is absolutely lethal in close combat because you get +6 to hit with it. That goes on top of your stat. And then we've got our results for shooting. We have got natural 1 out of ammo, 2 to 10 miss, 11 to 14 under fire marker, so you put one of the little blast markers at the side of them. 18 to 15 is under fire marker and a nerve test, and 19 to 20 is out of action. Now you can shoot at closest target, which is what you must always do. Line of sight and under fire markers on how they work. Shooting from cover and shooting from higher ground, and falling, because no cowboy movie would be worth its salt without people falling off buildings when they get shot with it. Interruptions, duck back, so you get shot out, so you just duck back. Quick shot, firing from the hip. And then we have nerve tests. So they've got a big nerve test. If you if your boss gets taken out, or you lose more than half of your gang, you need to make a big nerve test with a -1 penalty. And if you fail this, you lose the game, and you have to get out of dodge. You pass and carry on, it says here. Fail and you get out of dodge. Hand-to-hand fighting, lethal. You roll +1 for each under fire marker the other model has, +1 for coming from higher ground, including jumping down from a higher point, and +1 to the model that initiated the combat. Compare the results of the hand-to-hand scores. The losing model takes 1 under fire marker for each point of difference. If it's a draw, the fight again next turn. So can be quite nasty, but you can break off as well. Then we've got other cards. There are half decks and there are full decks, and then we can have 2 of the same gang, because obviously you can have lawmen fighting against lawmen, cowboys against cowboys, whatever, desperados against desperados. Each of the factions uses a specific set. So the lawmen use hearts and the cowboys use diamonds. The desperados use clubs, and I think the Mexican ones, I think they use the spades, I'm not sure. Okay, so you got your common cards, which like 2, 3, 4. When you're drawing your initiative, the higher number gets to go first, which is really good. But all the cards have got the descriptions of what happens here. Some of them put under fire markers on, some of them stop people from doing things. So you can play a card which will, if someone sets up, say they want to run forward, shoot, and then dive for cover, and but as soon as they go to move the model, and you play one of the cards that's called Stumble, they just fall flat on their face right wherever you want them to be. So you can, at any point in their movement, you can make them fall, which basically means that their turn ends and probably leaves them wide open to attack. So you've got gang-specific cards for each of the gangs. So jacks, aces and spades and stuff. When you play a card, you can always counter a card with the same card itself. So if someone plays an ace and they play the ace on you, you can counter it with another ace, as long as you've got another ace. So model profiles, you've got weapons, hit, nerve, shoot, hand-to-hand combat and reputation. So we'll have a quick look at the models. We've got the law. So you've got a sheriff. He's got a rep of 6. As you can see here, he's got 5 hits, which means he can take 5 hits before he's out. He's armed with a pistol. He's got a nerve of 2. He's got a shooter +1, which means every time you roll a d20, you have +1 to it. And he's got a hand-to-hand of 0. And then you've got marshals, deputies, and then upstanding citizens, which are just people who decided that they want to jump in and start helping people, helping out the as posses and what have you. They get a special rule called I Am the Law. Any lawman model in the line sight of the sheriff, even if secured by other models, receives a +1 bonus to their nerve test. In addition to this, modifier for having friendly models within 15 centimetres. And justice for all, a player may remove a single under fire marker at the end of each turn. Outlaws are much the same. They've got more or less the same stats, apart from the boss on the Outlaws has got a +1 on hand-to-hand combat. And everything, he's actually much better. He's got a rep of 6, he's got a hand-to-hand combat of +1, a shooter +1, nerve of +2, and hits of +5. So he gets a hand-to-hand bonus when he goes, because he fights dirty. And he's on with a pistol or a repeater. Repeaters are very, very good. And then you've got gunslinger, you've got dudes, varmints, and above snakes, which is their special ability. Once per turn, a model in the outlaw gang may choose to duck back as normal, but after the duck back, the nerve test must be taken. If passed, it does not burn the activation, but counts as a single action taken. Place a move token to move marker to indicate this. If the duck back is nullified by using a 7 of card, this ability is wasted for the turn. Taunts for lividness may be needed to be endured. And then cheating. Once per game, after all initiative cards have been revealed, with a smile on his face, the outlaw player may declare they're cheated, and they can swap one of their cards in their hand for another initiative card on the table, which can be quite good. Okay, and then we've got the cowboys, the desperados, and then there are other expansions that give you the braves, which are the Native Americans. You also have the Mexican ones. You get Pinkertons. Then there are rules for Australian outback. So you've got Ned Kelly. You've also got the Weird West. So you'll have rules for vampires and zombies and werewolves and wendigos and all that stuff, all in separate books. So we have our scenarios, and each of the scenarios tells you how to do it. So you've got how you arrange the scenario, the scene. If anybody's drunk and complacent, if they're drunk and complacent, they're limited to 2 actions instead of 3 until they sober up. They only sober up once somebody's put out of action. They're surprised, running out of cards, and horses, how horses work. And then we've got our scenarios, and the scenarios are dead simple. You got a cast that tells you how many people you can take, the story so far, what they're looking. You know, so this one says a stranger walks into town, and some of the local hoodlums decide to see how far they can push him. How much you need to do on the table, what you need to set up, the directions, action, and then the end. And this is repeated throughout. So you got the good, the bad, and the ugly scene, opening scene, second scene, third scene, and the quick on the lead. And these just go on with some amazing artwork. The photography is brilliant. I think these might be Kev Delimore painted these, I think. He's a brilliant artist, but these are really cool and all dead easy to do. The game itself is quite easy to play, and you can probably get through a full scene in an afternoon. And then we have an epilogue of what happens at the end of the game, and then more markers. And then we have our details at the back of what is mirrored at the front. Again, Dead Man's Hand, credits. Right, so that's a quick look through, well, a retro look through the older version of Dead Man's Hand. Now, the Dead Man's Hand game itself is still available, as I just mentioned previously. And I will be taking a look at more Dead Man's Hand stuff over the next few videos. And other stuff to go with Wild West games, because we're doing a Wild West gig at the moment. We're really into our Wild West right now. I've got some terrain from TT Combat and also from War Bases to look at, and I shall bring those videos soon, hopefully. So hope this has been of interest to somebody. My name is Mark. Thank you for tuning into Gamers Web, and no matter where you are in the world, please stay safe, look after yourself, roll those dice high, and have fun. Thanks, and bye.